Howard University community. Today, I have Brittney Johnson, news anchor in Dallas, Texas, School of C grad. Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Now, I have an outside voice. Newscasters, they typically talk into a very perfect mic, but I'm also the hip hop generation, so I cuff my mic so I know you can hear me. Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Do you take off your shirt and wave it around your head like a helicopter?
I do not, but I know many people who do.
What was your decision like? Take me back to your junior year in high school.
Okay.
Can you put yourself in that mind state?
I can. It was not that long ago.
Right.
It was. No, I was in high school in Charlotte, and I was really fortunate to go to a church that was excited about HBCUs.
Shout out to churches.
Shout out to our churches, and we were part of a program called Campus Connections. Campus Connections took us on tours of HBCUs every weekend. Wow. We went to visit HBCUs, and Howard was on that list.
What was the name of the church?
Mount Carmel Baptist Church. Shout out to Pastor Casey Kimbrough, who is still there to this day.
I couldn't let you not shout out the church and the pastor.
Yes, and I got to work in Charlotte, right? So what a full circle moment to leave, to come to Howard, and then have the opportunity to go back and live out my dream in front of my hometown and the people of Mount Carmel who helped put me there.
Love that. So of the other schools you considered, give me like 2 or 3 alternates.
I only applied to Chapel Hill and to Howard. I had many choices, top of my class, all that good stuff. Hi! Very excited. She listens to Charlotte too. And but when I stepped on this campus, it felt like home. It felt like home.
They have a song about that.
Yes.
It's like, I'm
so glad. Yes.
So you came and you applied to the School of Communications.
I applied to the School of Communications. Back then, my dear mother, she worked hard. We didn't have any money, so I had to wait on that packet. I had to wait on that scholarship packet to tell me that I had a full ride. I only applied to 2 schools, so I didn't give myself a lot of options, right?
Right.
But it worked out. I was very, very blessed to come.
When you were applying for schools, and in the School of C in particular, did you know that you wanted to be on television?
I did not. I grew up wanting to be an actress, but we could not afford to bankroll being a poor, starving actress. And so I said, I will work behind the scenes. I will do radio, television, and film. And then I got here and I had to take Dr. Kagwa's class as an RTVF major. And he made you get published in the newspaper. So I had to go to the Hilltop and I had to stand in the budget meeting. If anyone else worked for the Hilltop, you had to stand in that budget meeting and in the bottom of the office. And I had my first story, and it was about snoring. It was a story about snoring, but it forced me to get out and talk to people across campus. Hi, my name's Brittney. I'm writing a story for the Hilltop, and I loved it. And I changed my major.
What did you change to?
I changed to broadcast journalism. So I went from RTVF, thinking I was going to work behind the scenes, production, television shows, movies, and then I decided that I wanted to be a journalist and get an opportunity to get to know people and their stories.
That's awesome and incredible. So what was the first career break?
Well,
when did it break?
I went from Howard to Berkeley for a master's in journalism. We had a really neat opportunity where Jonathan Rogers, the CEO of TV One, he went to Berkeley, he invested in HBCUs, so they recruited. And so someone from Berkeley came here, I went there to get my master's, then I went to Monroe, Louisiana for my first job.
Okay.
Little Rock,
on the
Arkansas,
news in Monroe.
On the news,
okay.
in Fun Row, Louisiana.
Shout out to Monroe. Anybody from Monroe, Louisiana in the house?
Anyone know about the drive-through daiquiris? That's all I could afford.
Has anybody ever heard of Monroe, Louisiana?
Yes, the drive-through daiquiris.
Okay, here we go.
And so from Monroe, Louisiana to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Shout out to Little Rock.
Shout out to Little Rock, my family's hometown. So I got to do the news. My grandmother got to watch me. That was a blessing. And then I got to go to Charlotte, which was where I was raised. And then to Dallas, where I was born. So just incredibly blessed all along the way.
How has your career or responsibility or role increased over those multiple stops?
Just favor. You know, you start off telling stories. I was so broke. I remember all my clothes from my first job came from Goodwill. Right, like here I am with a master's from Berkeley and Howard. I'm wearing a wool skirt in the summertime because that's all that was in my size, and I could only shop at Goodwill on Wednesdays. Okay, because it was like half off. Half off. Okay. But you go from there, and then, you know, you double your salary a couple of times. You go from reporting in the field, in the heat, to now I'm a Monday through Friday anchor at the NBC O&O in Dallas-Fort Worth. So it has been an incredible trajectory, but I've worked some crazy hours. I've worked the morning show, waking up at 1:15 in the morning. I have worked evenings. I have worked weekends. I've done all the things to get to where I am today.
I love it. Now, I am not a journalist by education. Okay. I am an engineer. I recently attended my first NABJ conference.
I love NABJ, yes.
Did you go this year?
I couldn't go this year because the Olympics were on NBC, and so we had to stay in place.
Yeah.
But I've been to at least 10 NABJ conferences. It's life-changing. That's family. Howard's family. NABJ is my other family.
There was a lot of Howard presence at NABJ. From seasoned professionals to undergrad students who were being sponsored to be there. It was absolutely incredible.
It's the relationships that I've made through NABJ have changed my life. Howard changed my life, right? Switching to become a broadcast journalism major, and you know, you only had to have one internship to graduate. But I got to my sophomore year and people were talking about their second internship. Right? So I really had to step up my game, have 4 by the time I left. It was that competitive nature,
I was going to say
spirit,
competitive.
yes, where you push one another, and NABJ is the very same way. We push one another, but then help one another along. So I have incredible mentors and have been blessed. As a matter of fact, there's a young man on the football team who messaged me about going to tour local NBC. Through a NABJ contact, I've been able to help that current Howard student make relationships with the local NBC. I mean, the network, the family, it is unmatched.
I love it. So, Brittney, I want you to inspire the alumni who can hear us and who will watch this video later. How can they get involved in ways as alumni that will make a difference with our current students?
I think that remaining open to the ways that you can connect with the students. So if you have any type of organization, whether it's your local state club, right? I know that the Texas Club, when I was with the Charlotte chapter of our alumni club, I would offer to support the students who were in the same major when they wanted to come back home for a summer internship. They had someone who was there when they needed to do something over Christmas break. Just making sure that they know that they have someone who will answer the questions that they're nervous to ask, right? I mean, we have done the thing and it can be intimidating for them, but we were also in their seats, in their shoes.
Right.
So I think that making sure that you're connected so that the local students who are getting ready to go off to Howard or who are coming back for their summer at home with their family, that they know they have someone who's right down the street who is willing to help them at their current place of employment. I also sponsor a scholarship. It's for local students in DFW, but that's another way, of course, that we can have a direct impact on our students and making sure that you're spreading the word about that through your Howard contact as well.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I want to add a layer to it. Let's do that with the students, but then let's also keep in mind other career professionals who are maybe less senior than we are.
Yes.
And making sure we're providing inroads to our alum companions and our classmates in our career paths as well.
I always tell, I got my first job because of someone who was my same year at Howard. I ran into her at NABJ. And so when it was time for me to apply for my first job, she said, I'll send it to my news director.
Awesome.
And her news director had gone to Berkeley, so we had that connection. But that peer-to-peer support, there have been other alumni who have changed careers.
Yep.
So I know people who they went into teaching, they decided they wanted to be a reporter, they didn't know where to start. I have friends who started off in sports, they wanted to get into news, they wanted to connect with my mentors. And so just using whatever you have, wherever you are, to help someone else, and they'll remember that.
Right.
And then you may feel like you have a little bit of room, a little bit of margin to do the same thing when it's your turn to perhaps need a favor.
100%. Brittney, how can we find you and how can we support you?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at BrittYourOn. You can support me by continuing to watch the news. Okay?
Any news.
Any news.
Even if I'm not in Dallas.
Even if you're not in Dallas, the work that we do is really, really important, and we're for the community. I know that there is a lot of information out there, but I promise you, like sister to sister, I live in this community too, right? My family, my loved ones watch the news too, and we're just doing our best to inform people, to equip them with the information that they need to feel empowered to make decisions about their daily lives. So support your local news. You can find me at BrittYou'reOn on Instagram. I also have an entirely different life as a personal trainer and a nutrition coach, so I also love to help people when they're focused on prioritizing their health as well, and I post about all of that online, just using storytelling and communication to help people live their best lives.
We had a 5K run this morning.
I was not in town, but I did the Chicago Marathon last weekend.
Awesome. Way to go. Brittney, thank you so much for joining us today. Listen, I want to encourage you and everyone listening to scan the QR codes to support scholarships and HUAA programming around the world, as well as the other one to update your contact information to make sure you're hearing everything from Howard in real time. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good job.